Alright, gang, welcome back to our Can You Survive 25 challenge here on Zielonka. If you recall, over the last episode or two, I guess, we've been having an issue with our pickle production here, not being able to get into the menu. There's no easy way to say this. It took me damn near an hour, 45 plus minutes, to get this set up properly again. I still haven't been able to figure out what mod exactly is the problem, but regardless, we do have it fixed now where I can actually get into the menu of the pickle production. So those are good things, right? Those are very good things, but at the same time, we still don't know what mod specifically is interacting with that pickle production that's causing the issues. But at least we have, I believe, we have everything that we need installed right now, and then it's just a matter of us being able to install, a couple of things at a time, right? Maybe a little bit more of a nuisance for me having to go in and install those things or select them one way or another, whenever we want to add something else, but that's what we have to do for the time being. But anyway, we've got these spawning once again, which is good, right? We talked about that. We said we wanted to start spawning these again because it wasn't the best time to sell them for a while, and yeah, so that's what we did, right? Whenever it's the best time to sell them, sometimes I'll just throw them on auto selling when we have a lot of things to do. But right now we don't really have that, so not a big deal. But I do want to take a peek and see what the prices look like for those right now. I don't expect them to be good, as I've mentioned, but yeah, they're dropping. So we're going to have to wait again until the winter months before it's the best time to sell them again. Although the price isn't terrible around the board, there is still a better time period, obviously, to sell a lot of these. It's February and March for the most part for us. So right now, there's still plenty of actual crops. Well, I say crops. There's plenty of resources that are in there, materials that are in there right now. There's not any concern whatsoever of them running out anytime soon. So I still have all of our hydroponic greenhouses for the time being on auto selling right now. Those are always going to probably be on auto selling unless they need to be sent to the pickle production. But, we're good for the most part. Now, we do have these two greenhouses here that are a little low. The reason they're a little low is I've kind of talked about it. I've kind of talked about it a little bit already. I think this is the right one, I think. Let me make sure. But anyway, the reason those are so low is that one of those we want to try to... it's this one. We want to try to remove this one because it is floating a little bit. I don't like the fact that it's floating, so we're going to fix that. But I really don't want to waste the liquid fertilizer that is in there. So we're kind of waiting for that to run out. Now, there is the one that's right across from it, which is also going to be low, and eventually it's going to run out as well. Right now, I'm okay with it running out just because I don't want to put accidental fertilizer into this one when I really wanted to just go into this one. We want to get rid of this one and kind of refix it in a situation where it's not sunk into the ground and floating like it is currently. So yeah, we'll just take the hit on this one for a brief period of time, as long as it allows us to remove this one. So likely not going to be able to remove this one today. I don't think it's going to chew through all that fertilizer by the end of the episode today, but who knows? Who knows, right? So we will see as we move along. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Brief conversation here. I've talked about it, I know, in the past, but brief conversation about I was out of town for a brief period of time. It was a spur of the moment type of thing. My wife and I just decided to take a long weekend trip down to Orlando. Her sister is a travel agent and just found us a deal that was too good to pass up. It was so inexpensive. It was ridiculous how cheap it was. And so just a little bit of a mental break for both of us. There's been a lot going on. I've mentioned that a lot, right? There's been a lot of work going on. There's been a lot going on. So it was just good for us to step away for a little while and kind of recharge the batteries, if you will. Now, we've talked about this for a while, and I said it was going to be mostly a sunflower oil farm. I think I've modified that just ever so slightly. I think we're just going to call this an oil farm. It doesn't necessarily have to be sunflowers. It could be canola oil, olive oil, whatever. But we're going to make this an oil farm. Initially, my goal was to do all sunflowers, but I just don't think there's enough time for us to be able to really create quite a huge sunflower oil production. So I think we're going to modify that a bit and do all oil. So that allows us to at least put some canola in here later in the year, which is good, right? So we're going to kind of go for that approach. It's still going to be a heavy sunflower oil farm, but we're going to branch out and allow other oils as well. So I just wanted to notate that really quickly. I probably should have said that from the beginning, but you know, my initial goal was just to do only sunflowers. But I think it's best for us just to branch out and do all oils. So it'll be an oil-based farm, especially since this series is going to run for forever, right? We want to bring in some different approaches, if you will, besides just only sunflowers. And speaking of sunflowers, it looks like these up here have actually started to sprout the flower portion of the sunflower, right? Yeah, they have. Look at that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see that. Actually, this field over here, surprisingly enough, is a sunflower field. Now, again, this is $755,000. We're not going to have anywhere near $755,000 to buy it. Would be wonderful to have that because it is a sunflower field, but it's just unfortunately not going to work out for us. But that's okay. It is what it is. Now, rain's in the forecast today, so you know, we got to keep a monitor on that. But we don't really have, in regard to actual farm type of things to do, we don't have a ton to do today. If we look at the actual crop calendar here, canola can't be put on the ground. We could do carrots and green beans, grass, oilseed radish, parsnip, poplar, red beet. That's it. Now, I do think there are some productions. I don't know if I have anything installed right now, if I'm honest with you, but I do think there are some things where you can make oil from oilseed radish. But I don't think I have anything installed right now because we just installed a bunch of stuff, right? So I don't think there's a bunch out there for that, but you know, we can take a peek as we move along, and maybe I'll find something and we can install that, and maybe we can start doing some oilseed radish type of approach as well, right? But we'll see, right? Right now, we're nowhere near a time where it's even feasible for us to do that. The only thing we really could potentially do today is put down that oilseed radish and then obviously re-drill it when the canola is ready, and that would save us a little bit of the fertilizer cost, but I'm not too concerned about that right now, so we'll leave it be for right now, I guess is how I'll put it. So the sunflower oil farm 2, whatever you want to call it, it's just going to be kind of sitting stagnant for a little bit. We might do some kind of a contract or something there today because we don't have a ton to do, as I've mentioned, right? We really don't. We've got very little to do today, but anyway, how's everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. We're going to be doing our normal stuff here, the normal maintenance type of stuff that we need to do. We are going to focus on doing that today. This, obviously, we have a little bit of money in the bank account, so we could potentially start to expand this even more with some more greenhouses. I think one thing I would like to do, you know, I've done it I've done it in the competitive one-tile challenge, but I haven't branched out to the point of making you know, flour from it. But I think maybe if we start doing a cricket farm and then turn that into cricket flour or insect flour, whatever they call it, a little gross, but I mean, people eat it. People are weird. People eat it, so I guess I shouldn't say that. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. To me, it seems weird that you would eat insects, but I mean, that they say they're good for you, right? They say they're good protein and stuff. I don't know. I just don't know if I could ever go the approach of eating an insect. I don't know. It just doesn't seem the most appetizing thing, but maybe it tastes good. Maybe I should give it a chance. I don't know, but anyway. So we're filling this up with some water, even though it doesn't look like water that's going in there. We're going to fill this up with some water. We're just going to help the water, our water transfer tank things here, whatever you want to call these. I'm always blanking on the name of what they call them. I don't even know if it's going to show me. It's not. Oh, maybe it is. Nope, that's a tree. Okay, well, anyway, I'm always blanking on what those are called. But anyway, you know, we're just going to try to help them out a little bit. Really, I would like to, and maybe today's the day we consider doing it, but I'd like to, you know, try to expand that even further. It looks like maybe I didn't install the other one, or maybe it's somewhere else. Water pump and distribution, that's just what it's called. So it's just very generic, but anyway. So we're going to fill this up here, fill these up a little bit, just try to help. I'm just going to drive past, and it's just going to accept whatever it accepts. And then the rest of this is going to go into the green, the tree greenhouse here, just because it does just chew through water. Now, we are keeping a pretty high amount of water in these now. They're in a pretty good state here. And as you can see, we just drove by there. These two that I was talking about, the liquid fertilizer and how low they are, they're back to 40,000 in water. So if I was to do that same approach with the liquid fertilizer, that other one would accept it. So that's the reason why I haven't done that. But anyway, this one it's moving along, it's cruising along as best as it can, and yeah, we're crunching through it. We've got 34,000 liters of wood chips, and yeah, they're selling as good as they possibly can at this point. Other than that, Oh, rice oil too. Sorry, we can do rice oil as well. So we're going to do all the oils that you can see in here. We're going to do canola oil, olive oil, rice oil, and sunflower oil in that oil farm number 2, if you will. So those, I mean, there's not really a whole lot else for us to do today. So what we're going to do, we've got $78,000. First of all, we're going to take a look and see what kind of contracts we can get into today to try to help us with the funds a little bit. And then 2, well, like I said, we'll maybe consider doing a bit of an expansion. And what I'm kind of thinking here, right or wrong, is taking the cricket farm and maybe starting it over here on this side, right? I wonder, now that I say this, I wonder, I just don't think I installed it. I just didn't install it. Okay, never mind. I was like, maybe it's in tools or something. I couldn't remember. But I'm talking about there's another distribution thing that we have shown before and talked about before. But I guess I just didn't install it. Or I didn't select it, I should say. So we'll select it back. We do know it's working with that selected in the past. So we'll figure that out. Anyway. But anyway, talk about the crickets, right? I think we might, try an approach here. Now, I do think I have those installed. I think I do. So I was thinking, somewhere along the lines of this, maybe, which if we follow... If we follow the approach of what we know from the competitive one-tile challenge, we'd want to set it up something like this. And then just kind of line them up going this way, if you will, right? And it gives us a little bit of space to drive through here. Maybe we could put a few things on the edge here, but probably not much. But either way, I'm going to have to smooth this land out as well, or I'm going to run into the same effect or the same issue that we have with this one, right? So we're going to have to focus on that a little bit today. The other thing is, if I'm going to do that, we've also are going to really want to... I mean, I can put them on auto-selling, which most of the time that's probably what they're going to be on, but I really would want to actually start to incorporate the insect mill here, which is what I'm talking about, which turns them into that insect flour. So this is, something we're going to have to consider here pretty soon, I guess, is how I should put it. But I guess we'll figure that out, right? I guess we'll figure that out as we move along here. So anyway, how's everyone today? I hope you're doing well, man. Things are good. Things are good. So we kind of know what we're wanting to do here today. So let's see what's out here contract-wise. Anything? Not really. It's actually pretty terrible, if I'm honest with you. There's really nothing out there for us. We could do the rock removal. We've done that before. That's very close to where we are now. So I'm very tempted to do that one. Although it's only going to make us about $2,000, but it's $2,000. $2,000, right? Could be worse. So let's go ahead and do that one. Whoop! There comes something else. A hoeing contract. I love doing the hoeing contracts. Those are also near us. We might end up doing both of those contracts today. Let's do the rock removal first and foremost. We're going to borrow the items. And I got to flip through a bunch of stuff to get to it. Now, we've done this way up on the other side of the map, but we haven't done it in the area that's right next to us, so I'm excited to try that out. I actually am very surprised at how little there is to do out there for us from a contract perspective. Used market-wise, there's some things out here that I would love to have, but not really anything, unfortunately, that is going to be within our budget today, which sucks, but it is what it is, right? This harvester would be wonderful to do olive oils, right, if we wanted to do olive oil. But unfortunately, we're just not going to get there. 113,000. There's no way we're going to make that. This Fiat would be wonderful to have. There is a blue version of it, which would help Farm 2. It's not the exact blue, but at least it's a blue. But again, it's not really... I don't think it's going to be anything that's really going to be that beneficial to us right now, so why would we spend the money? I think it'd be better utilized adding more greenhouses to our setup over here, right? So anyway, we head down. We headed down. We went down to the Orlando area. most of the time, my wife and I, we like to, and if you watched Friday's episode, you might have heard a bit of this, so bear with me for a minute. But we head down we went down. I can't talk, man. Ever since I got back, I've just been like, I'm like jet lagged and tired, and I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we went down to Florida, and normally when we go to Florida, we weren't planning to go this year, but normally when we go, it's late January or early February. That's when we like to go. It's normally, I don't want to give anything away, but normally there's not many people in Florida at that point, and that's when we like to go to Florida, is when there's not many people. It's more relaxing, you know. I just enjoy not having so many people there. The problem this time was, and it's not something we realized, is that evidently this week it is a holiday for the northeastern part of the United States. I had no idea. Almost like their spring break. They get a spring break, but this is almost like another spring break for them. It was absolutely slammed down there. Way too many people for my liking. Let's put it that way. Way too many. But we still had a good time, right? We still had a good time. It was still fun. But there was also a snowstorm on the East Coast, so there was delays for flights and cancellations. It was a bit of a mess. We ended up not getting actually at home and in bed until almost 4 in the morning. And then I had to work that day, so it's been a struggle this week. So I apologize. Well, I say this week. At this point, this is Sunday. This is starting the next week, but at the time of the recording, it's still this week. So, I'll get back in the groove here again soon. I promise. Maybe we shouldn't have taken that trip, but we just both needed a mental break, man. It's just been. I've talked about it. Work's been brutal, right? It's just been busy. Clients are insane, and then they let go. I mentioned that too. They let go somebody who was very close to me. I've worked with almost my entire professional career, so a little shocked when that happened, of course. And more people had to take on more responsibilities that she was doing. So it's just been a bit of a mess, if you will. But anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're not here to listen to me complain about how my life outside of doing Farming Simulator has been, but that's the reason why I was gone for a couple of days. I like to be, honest with all of you, regardless, one way or another, whether you want to technically hear it or not. I like to let you know. I really enjoy doing this rock removal. I really do. I don't know why. It's very basic. There's nothing to it. You would think I'd get pretty bored with it, but I enjoy it. I don't know. It's enjoyable. I think I would like doing this like in real life, right? All right, contract's done, so we can go ahead and turn this in. $2,110. I mean, it's nothing special, but we'll take it, right? We'll take it. All right, puts us at 81,000, so that's good. What else can we get into? Wood transport, spraying, plowing. Ooh, now that might be something we can do. Now, that would take us probably an eternity to do so, but that might be something we can consider. The hoeing as well. Do we have a plow? I think we have a plow over here on Farm 2, don't we? We do. Not the largest plow in the world, though, if I'm honest with you. Let's see. What would we be utilizing? That's one I don't really love, but what would we be utilizing if we borrowed it? Because it's only about $1,000, deduction. Okay, let's see if we can. We should be able to find that one. Let's see if we can find that plow in here. 4.9 meters. What we have is, I think, a 6-meter one. Yeah, it's 6 meters. What might be beneficial for us to do? Although I don't think we specifically need it yet, but it might be beneficial for us to go this approach and get this big dog here at 21,000 and sell the one we have. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of money, though. I mean, that would pretty much just, make us wash even, at least with the contract, right? If it's $10,000. But we would get it done in record time, right? We would get that field done in a jiffy, if you will. How much horsepower does this have? I already forget how much horsepower that 726 has. 180 horsepower. So, 180 horsepower. It says you need 340. Yeah, most of these, it's saying you need more than you actually have. I know I've used these with less horsepower and it works, but it says you need 340. Yeah, I don't know, gang. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. That one might not work for us. The hoeing one, maybe. I've done the hoeing one a lot already, I feel like. This is not even worth our time. Contract reward is $200. It'd be $1,000. It would cost us more for the fertilizer or the herbicide or whatever, the herbicide. That's not really going to give us a whole lot. So I tell you what we're going to do, gang. You know, I don't really care on this series. A lot of the series, I try to prevent myself from doing any kind of situation where I skip months in the same episode, right? I like to try to keep it to one per month. I think what I'm going to do in this instance is actually go ahead and skip to July. Now, you might say, well, July is going to be more the same. You're right, it will be. However, we can at least start the approach of fixing up the greenhouse here, and then we can maybe start our other greenhouse production. So let's just go ahead and skip to July, and we'll go from there. All right, gang, welcome back to July. And yeah, again, as I mentioned, there's not really a ton for us to do right now, so we jumped here for specific reasons. One, well, I guess I should double check it. It should be empty, but just double check it. They are. Okay. One was to be able to remove this today and kind of move on to the next stage that we talked about. Two was for us to be able to start to smooth this land out and actually start to expand it. And obviously we made a little bit more money in the process as well, which is going to be very useful, honestly, as we move along here. So we'll get rid of that first thing first here. And then we want to go into the level, I would suppose. And then we're going to change the shape to a square. And I'm going to kind of try to take it from down here, potentially. And then just kind of flatten it out going this way as much as I can here. You know, it's going to look a little weird, but once it's done being smoothed out, it won't look that bad anymore. I don't know how far this is going to let me go, but I'm gonna do whatever it lets me do. And then I'll obviously smooth it out as well as we move along here. Kind of figured it was going to be a little weird there, and as you can see, the water is starting to creep in, so I'm going to need to smooth that out pretty severely right there. Just to make things look a little bit cleaner, better, all that stuff, right? Now, this is not going to look perfect right now, and it looks really, really bad right now, but again, it will not look this bad when we're all said and done. Okay, so then we'll go into the soften here, and then kind of expand that out a little bit, and we're just going to soften up the edges here as much as we can. And doing this softening of the edges here will make it look a lot better. It's still not going to be perfect no matter which way we cut it, but it's going to look a lot better. And it's basically going to get rid of that water that's kind of spilling over a bit there, as you can see. So that is a much better location for us to be able to place stuff down, right? It's going to be much less of an issue, I guess is how I'll put it, for us to be able to place down any greenhouses now. It won't be floating, or at least it shouldn't be floating. If it is a little bit, that's okay, as long as it's not severe like the last time, right? The last one we saw was pretty severe. I didn't like it at all, so we had to modify that. Okay, so we're going to go about it this way. And as with before, I'm going to try my best here to keep it as straight with the other one. Now remember, I am on console here, so it's not the easiest thing for me to move these things backwards, but, you know, we'll get them there. I think that is probably a decent spot for it. I think there's enough room there. Actually, I'm going to move it forward just one tab. There we go. Yeah, that's better. The water tank is slightly floating. You can kind of see it there, just ever so slightly, because we kind of got close to the edge there, but I wanted to do that on purpose because, well, quite frankly, we want to try to get as many of these in here as we can. Now, having said this, the understanding is going to be right now is that we're going to need a lot more water, right? We're going to need a lot more of those distributors as well, if I don't want to go through here and do this every single time. Now, the thing we can consider to do, and honestly we probably will consider to do, is buy a bigger water tank, which will help us out, right? Or at least upgrade the one we have to a super unrealistic mode. Again, you know, we're not 100% trying to go unrealistic, but we don't really care too much in this series because at some point, since it's going to be running for so long, we're really going to need that kind of stuff, right? We really are. We're not going to be able to keep up with all of that if we don't. So we just spent a ton of money, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand right there on some more greenhouses, plus whatever we spent to kind of smooth out the land here. Lots and lots and lots of money spent there. Now, what I can tell you is I did find... it was installed. I just somehow missed it. It's down here. But the way this reads, I thought this might just be a pump that, you know, allows you to fill up your tanks with water. I thought there was a version of this, which I don't see anymore, and maybe they removed it. I don't know. But I thought there was a version of this in the factory area that was very similar to this one where it distributed water. And I wanted to try that out and see how it did. But I don't seem to see it in here anymore. So... I could have been wrong. This one does, but I do know this one has to be filled up with water, so it doesn't really do a whole lot. This is the one that, you know, we really need, I guess, more than any other one because it actually distributes the water. So we're just going to add a few more of these in here. Again, this is not going to be enough. It's just simply not going to be enough. But we'll add a few more in nonetheless. Just to see if we can try to get this going a little bit better here. And when I say going a little bit better, I mean keep the water flowing as much as humanly possible here. That's really what we need. Now, I'm overlapping some stuff here a bit, but it's not anything major. I'm not like actually having anything inside of the tank. It's just some of the poles are kind of touching each other. I'm not too concerned about that, and I guess some of them are kind of touching the tree branches there a bit, which wouldn't be that realistic, so I need to make sure I don't do that one there. But we should be able to slide another one in right here. Perfect. Now, that's quite a few. Is it going to keep up with all this? I still don't think it will, but it is definitely going to help having that many there. It's going to help. This one definitely shouldn't even be there. It's in the tree too much. I don't mind if they're on the edge of the trees, because that would kind of happen, right? The trees would grow out until you just have to chop them down, so we can kind of use our imagination a bit there. But the one that was literally inside of the tree, that would never work. This would never be able to spin, right? So I think that might be probably the extent we're going to be able to put here until we start, unless we start covering up this advertisement, which I guess we could, but people who have that advertisement probably would not be very happy with us. Okay, so we're going to turn all these on and put them all on distributing. Okay, they're moving along nicely. They should all be going now, I think. 1, 2, yeah, they're all going. So we basically increased our output by 3. It's, again, not going to be enough because those 3 we had were struggling already, but it will help, right? It will help. So now we've got to go through the slog here of filling all these things up, right? We've got to get liquid fertilizer too, which is super expensive, so that's going to cost us a ton of money. Also, probably want to turn on all these greenhouses, right? We're going to turn them on to lettuce for right now, and just have them on selling. Because lettuce seems to be still the best option for your total price that you're going to get, right? All right, and this is starting to run out of fertilizer too. So we've got a lot to do, if I'm honest with you. $74,000, though, is going to run out very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So let's fill it up with water first off. And we'll try to get everything, all of these greenhouses topped up with water, so that way it's not such a slog for those distributors, right? Let's try to get that done first. All right, there's one load full. We're going to have to get a second one. We're going to need around 200,000 liters of water. So 100,000 liters of water in here right now. So we're going to chew through this quickly here. And let's see, how much liquid fertilizer do they hold? 4,000. Okay, so not a ton. So I need to do the math on that. What we got? 6 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Well, actually, we do have 6 because the other one, if you remember, over here on the left side, we weren't filling it up with liquid fertilizer, right? So I'm probably not going to be able to get that to the exact amount we need to be at. I mean, 24,000. I'm going to have to stop it in the middle of buying, right? And we don't really want to go over if at all possible. Now, granted, we probably can go over a little bit because some of these probably still need some liquid fertilizer, even if they... Yeah, they do. A lot of them need liquid fertilizer, actually. So, they're all at the 2,000 range. So, yeah, they could use a little bit of extra. So, we'll try to do that as well. Now, surprisingly, the wood greenhouse here still has plenty of water in it, which is very surprising. We did fill it up, I think, to max, though, earlier, right? So, guess it kind of makes sense, but... All right, here we go. And this should just about do it. Perfect. So that's definitely going to help out those water distributors now. It's really going to help them a lot. Help them hopefully keep up, right? And as you can see, they're not really floating. The only one that is this one right down here in the end, and it's just ever so slightly floating. That is much better than what it was. So, I'm happy with that. Okay, so, liquid fertilizer. We got to be careful here, as I mentioned, right? This is going to be super expensive. Super expensive. Alright, I think that's going to have to be enough. So it was 16 grand for all of that. That's a lot of money. And the reason why I wanted to put these in the location that they are is because I can drive down just like this. Ooh, we're going to need more. Interesting. I did not think we were going to need more, but I guess those other ones, you know, they were definitely low, right? Alright, well, we'll have to get some more then. So what do we... Let's do the math here. A little less than 2,000, so 4,000, 5,000, 9,000. Alright, about around 9,000-ish. Whatever, if we have any extra, we can just throw it into the wood greenhouse. I'm fine with that. I think we're going to do solid fertilizer in the wood greenhouse just because it is a little bit cheaper, and it seems to make the same amount. All right, I'm hoping that's about a perfect amount. Hopefully we don't have to put any in the wood greenhouse. Evidently, I went a little bit too much. Yep, I did. That's fine. We can put it into the greenhouse, the wood greenhouse. That's fine. We'll turn it on because it was not on, so we'll turn that on. All right. So those are down. Now, the only other thing I said we wanted to do today was start considering putting down some of the crickets, right? I might change my mind a bit on that, though. When I went back out to the menu, right, and tried to figure out what was going on with the water thing and, kind of reset it, because I did that between, obviously, flipping from June to July. I don't think I mentioned that, but I did that just to see if I could figure out what was going on. When I say the water thing, I'm talking about this thing we talked about at the very beginning of July here, this thing, right? Which I don't think is exactly doing what I thought it was going to do. I guess I could put it down and figure it out. It's only $3,000, but anyway. But I don't think it is, so we're not going to. I started to think a little bit more about, the crickets. We're utilizing those crickets already, right? I think what I would like to do is maybe do a bit of a difference. Now, it's going to be technically considered a factory, I guess, more than a greenhouse. So maybe this is kind of bending the rules a bit. I don't know. But these salt marshes, I've used these in the past, right? I would like to do this. I don't know, though. What do you guys think? I'm not going to put it down because I don't know. I want to know your input. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think this could be considered a greenhouse, or do you think this is not considered a greenhouse? I mean, I could see both arguments for sure. Part of me thinks it's going to be okay to put it down and utilize it as part of a greenhouse or a production farm, because that's really what this is. It's more of a production greenhouse farm versus anything else. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, I guess is how I'll put it. I want to know what you think before I do anything else, right? So I won't do that. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do in this region, right? I think we have enough hydroponic greenhouses. I don't think I want to do any more hydroponic greenhouses. I think this is plenty of those. I was considering doing a second wood greenhouse. But again, they cost an absolute ton of money, right? They lost a ton of money. So we could do some other stuff, right? I could install some other greenhouses potentially. I don't know how much they're going to change. We could do like the melons, the pumpkins, all that kind of stuff. Or, we could go with the mushrooms here as well, I guess. But I'm going to kind of leave that to you. So I want your input. I want to know what you think. And we'll kind of make a decision based off of whatever it is you think we should be doing. So with that, we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. They're free to do. They help me a ton. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank them enough. If you want to become a member, you get early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge. Check my second channel out, doing playthroughs of Red Dead Redemption 2 and High on Life 2, as well as the Dynasty Warriors Origins DLC that recently came out. Discord down there. Share your progress on whatever game you may be playing. There's ability for you to do that on my Discord. Yeah, I guess that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you next time.